Thank you for joining the news broadcast of RTV, Raley Television at 6. Victoria along with my co-host, Drake.
Thank you, Victoria. We now go straight to the press conference being held by Jay Raley's digital representative, who is speaking at the international leadership being held in Gießen, Germany, in which the social issue of international law and justice is being discussed by world leaders across the globe.
Thank you, Drake and Victoria. We now go directly to Jay Raley's digital representative, who is now just beginning to speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, ambassadors, leaders and distinguished members of the United Nations. We are here in Gießen, Germany, to discuss the very important issue of social justice, or more specifically, the topic of international law and justice. While there are many issues that affect the human population, the chosen topic of international law and justice is an important human factor as listed by the United Nations. According to the United Nations website, the United Nations helped develop a body of international laws that includes the various conventions, treaties and standards that have been placed in service since 1945. From these standards, the United Nations advances other issues such as democracy and human rights. The international law and justice arm of the United Nations also helps to solve international disputes through peaceful means. As we have seen over time through human history, nations have either attacked other nations, either invaded nations, or attacked and brutally murdered innocent lives. Even as recent as of a week ago, missiles rained down on the population of Syria from the suspicion that Syria gassed its own population. In retaliation for this event, the United States, the United Kingdom, and France acted together in response to the alleged chemical attack in Syria. As history has shown us, parties who are interested in being unique to enforcing their personal needs and desires, basically ignoring the fact that what they do will matter or not, but take actions with or without actual cause. We are here today to say that unilateral actions will no longer be tolerated by the United Nations. What we are proposing here today is that the topic of international law and justice, as well as the subtopic of human rights, will be equally enforced and managed by a branch of the United Nations. To quickly summarize the scope of this gathering, we are proposing that a leader and vice leaders be put into place to coordinate the activities of this arm to ensure that no one article is abandoned or ignored. This leader must ensure the equalization of law and justice simply by being the leader who is coordinating national interests. Leaders, in its most visual look at what divides human beings, often are the frontline officers who are capable of using the understanding of the basics of law and to ensure no nation single-handedly takes justice into its own hands. Leaders are those who show others the way in which to walk, the need for open dialogue, as well as the resistance to eliminating those who are still considered young. Leaders are to be creative, innovative, patient with understanding, and having the need to inspire others to be more than who they thought they were about to become. Equal laws and equal justice will find that a few turrets were in place awaiting the command to get the chairs. International law and justice means just that, equality. Gone are the days of selfishness and born are the values of determination. One voice can silence a bin of time, so from this, must speak to calm fears and to eliminate the usage of waste and replace it with expectations. The status quo of the world community is over, so a new one must begin with the implementation of equality. One logical voice who understands those around the leader's ideas. One intelligent leader who will not commit troops to false flag operations. Finally, one leader will always be needed to show others their vision and what expectations are set in place. Should any human violations occur in any nation at any time, an overall glance over what violations occurred will take place while an expeditionary force is dispatched to the location in question. In essence, leadership needs to inspire and to create hope in those who have none. Only together can we devour the essence of the old while harnessing the energy behind reason and equality. No longer will nations face reprisals or death from their own governments. We will all act as one family or we will die as separate beasts. One voice, one vision. Thank you for your attention. and we will report back once the topic of international law and justice clears the Rules Committee on who will lead this global effort to ensure countries no longer act like barbarians.
Live from the United Nations, this is Jessica reporting. Back to you, Drake and Victoria. Thank you for that live report, Jessica. We will now return you back to your normally scheduled ending.